Hello everyone and welcome back to Planet Zoo, and we do have a beautiful zoo at that. With the last time we introduced the striped hyenas to their new enclosure near the entrance, and we've also touched up a little bit of the caracal enclosure. The other thing, I've been a busy lad. I have an offline zoo, and what I mean by that is a zoo, my own private zoo, that I don't share with anyone else but myself. It's only got 2 animals in it though. It's only got... Actually, I lied, there's more than 2 animals. You've got saltwater crocodiles, and we've got a bunch of African animals that go well with one another. Amongst that number is zebras, antelopes, and springboks, I believe. Now, I had that game running for a few hours the other night, and we have... The great thing about this game is when you do research, it carries across to your other active zoos. I've fully researched everything in the mechanic research, which is great, because that allows us to do the Australian theme. As I said last time, the Australian theme stuff is probably going to go out this way, and that is what we're going to do. So, first things first, is we're going to take out a loan for 50,000 if we can. Nope, can't. We're going to take a $20,000 loan, and probably a $5,000 loan as well, because we really need the money for what we're about to do. And last time we put down all these buildings, we put all of these down. We're now going to get rid of every single one of them. So that is going to be our first part of our time lapse. Alright, now we're going to move on to the enclosure. Now the reason why we're going on to the enclosure is because, well, of course we need to bring the money in, but also we're getting very short on cash, and the cash is what we need to be able to sustain, well, to be able to build the enclosure to begin with. So the first thing we can do, right, 450 square meters, 1 to 6, up to 5 males, up to 5 females, polyandrous, okay, cool. And the last thing I wanted to check was, if we had 6 adults, 825 square meters, not much. That's pretty good. What is their preference to humans? They don't share their space with any other animals. Can't enter, no. Age of sexual maturity, 1 to 5 years. Death. Excellent. Still didn't tell me what I wanted to know. Confident. Okay, we can have glass. That's what I wanted to know. Alright, how many square meters do we have now? More than enough. Cool. hopefully, the idea is we drag more people into the zoo by having these guys here. Now, again, these shops are temporary. These shops are very temporary in their placement. I'll probably have some Australian themed shops coming along this side, some African stuff along this side. Who knows? I am still working things out, plan things out very well. There's things about, oh yes, this is how I want to do my zoo, and then I execute them and go, oh yes, but I completely forgot about this aspect of the game. Happens every time. I'm well aware that we're low on cash, but the next thing we're going to build is something for the guests, and that is going to be guest facilities. We're going to give them some drinks. We're going to give them a drink stall. Good old Gulpy. Let's bring some more money into the zoo. I'm still not finished with what we've got going on here. So hopefully that'll start bringing a lot more money in a lot faster. And then the next thing we're going to buy is food. Then the next thing after that is we're basically catering for the guests for the time being, because the guests are the guys who bring money in. Whoa! You guys are brother and sister? Oh, that's not good. Send... Oh, that's not good. We need to get ourselves another emu that is not a relative of the one that we just... Oh, I did not check that. Alright, animal market, emus. We need a female. We're going to grab Beryl. And we're going to put them into the quarantine. Alright, we can afford a couple of rocks, so we need to create ourselves a hard shelter for these emus. Now, because we've researched all of the hard shelters, we're just going to have a quick look at what's available. African. Australian shelter. Well, that'd be kind of neat. Like they've taken over a an Australian store or something in the outback. An old barn. Have some bedding. Extra large. There we go. Let's just flip you around like so. We have now only got $4. And we're back down to 1,000. Minus 1,000. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have emus, and I need a sign for them. How much does it cost for an education thing? Media devices and education. $40! It's not too bad. Let us slap bang this down right here in the corner. Say, people, this is what you're paying your good earned money towards emus. For those who do not know, a true story is Australia declared war on the emu population during the 1930s. So it was known as the Emu War, or also known as the Great Emu War, and it was a nuisance wildlife management military operation. Basically, after World War One, there was a lot of guys getting set up for agriculture. However, emus were being a pain in the butt, so the farmers decided they would declare war on them. And then proceeded to run out of bullets. And because they were such a nuisance, these creatures, these emus, for the Australian farmers, they called upon the Australian government to do something about it. So the Australian government deployed the army. And the emus won. And the reason why the emus won was the Australian army simply just ran out of bullets. There was that many emus out in the outback where these guys were trying to farm at the time. They just simply ran out of bullets. And thus, ever since then, the Australian army has only ever lost in a war to emus. And for just a little bit of context to it, the emus were destroying the crops that the farmers were putting out. So stuff like wheat or sugar canes and all that kind of jazz. These guys were coming around and destroying their livelihoods. So hence the reason why there was a war on the emu. So even though this seems like pretty unrealistic, emus taking over a ramshackle shack in the middle of the outback, in my mind's eye, not having the context, oh look, Bubby emu. In my mind's eye, knowing about the Great Emu War, this actually tracks. It just seems like the emus would overtake a farmer's place of residence and make it into their own. Yes, stare at the emus. As soon as we get monies, we're going to put some donation boxes down. Donation box. No! Give us the money. And we'll put another one down. Yeah. The other thing we're about to do is get another facility. Guest facilities. Yeah, have an ATM, ladies and gentlemen. And then have a merchandise store. Bam! Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the emus. We're going to look at their enrichment. And that is seen in here. They want a small bull pumpkin, a curio bull, a herb% marker, mirror mobile. Okay, let's start off with the first thing, habitat. Alright, that is majority of what we probably can expand upon this a bit more. Let's give them some rocks, shall we? Hopefully we haven't put too much in. No, that's perfect. And the other thing we would like to do, since we've now got the money to do so, is we want bushes. Then we're going to do a 2-for-1 here. So the next thing that is available for the Grasslands pack is we are going to have the red-necked wallaby. Look at that cute little fella. Red-necked wallaby. And because they're mostly on the east coast of Australia, which is quite a temperate area, we're going to do it as a temperate build for this one. I'm pretty sure humans can go into these enclosures, so we're going to set up something pretty cool for this one. Again, this is all temporary. I should start thinking about putting in the shops down here. Facilities, power. Again, temporary. Look at these little wallabies. Okay, and the next thing we're going to do is give these guys some water in the form of a water pipe. What else we wanted to do for these little guys, the little wallabies? That's right, we want to give them a suspended foraging thing right here. Boom. Now, I don't want to take out a loan, but I'm going to have to, because we need to work on our shops here. Alright, hopefully that will bring the consumers in to spend their hard-earned cash at our zoo. Very grand in debt, but that is because of the fact that we have taken out a loan. So what we're going to do is when we get money, is we're going to hook that back up, and we will do the finishing touches on the, I guess, the eating area. I don't know how I'm going to execute it. We'll come across it as we do it. Oh yeah, look at this inspection report. Education, terrible. Finances, everything else though, 5 stars. I think that's something we will probably work on in the next episode, is getting the education and also getting the finances up, which means adding ATMs and all that jazz. Music to my ears. Claim rewards, grand. And the fact that they all think the prices at the zoo is underpriced. Overview, ticket price 8. Really need that mirror that they have at, I think it was at the New York Zoo. It had the inscription, the most dangerous animal in the world, and it was just a mirror reflecting back onto mankind. Unfortunately, that is all we have time for today. Let's have a quick look at what we have achieved today. First of all, we have the emu habitat. Took us some time to get there, but we did eventually get there. We also did the wallabies. Look at them jumping around, having a bunch of fun. We also put in these lovely Australian outback buildings, or the Australian themed buildings. That area is still a work in progress. We'll be touching that up as we go along. And finally, we added in the all new commercial area of the zoo, which will be kind of like the central hub, which we will finish off with Kurt running this off like so. And then we'll add in some eatery areas in here with some tables and chairs and so forth. I don't know how it will turn out. I hope it works out well. But that is our zoo for now. Next time we'll be looking at bringing in the 9-banded armadillo. After we add the 9-banded armadillo, we also need to add in the blue wildebeest as well as the maned wolf, including 5 colourful species of butterflies. So next time we will have a look at the armadillo, the maned wolf, and maybe if we've got time, the blue wildebeest. As always, I have been your host, you have been watching Planet Zoo, and until next time, take care.